Okay, welcome back. Another trade recap for you and for me as well. This trade was taken on the 21st, on the Thursday, in the PM session when the 2 p.m. candle opened. So we'll start on the daily time frame. Clearly still bearish, inverse this gap yesterday. However, we have swept these lows and we do still have SMT currently here. But bias was fairly neutral as I go down to the lower time frame, but higher time frame is still clearly bearish, still coming down. Although we have inversed these gaps, I still wasn't really sold on a buy just because immediately we just continued to dump. Coming into the 1 hour, we did have SMT at these highs with ES, all of these highs, just mainly this one as ES never came up and swept it. And additionally, we did have news today at 10 o'clock. So we did have this news week left behind. And I'll drop down into the 15-minute time frame. And clearly, we did see Asia and London accumulate together with New York coming down and manipulating and then distributing, but we never ended up taking out these highs. This made me a bit confident in buys, as we did see, well, I did have good draws for buys, and we did also sweep out this news week or data week at 1 o'clock. So dropping down into the 1 minute now, you can see pre-accumulation leg. And additionally, I was also a bit wary of buys. I was very cautious today just because we had such a conflicted bias. Clearly, price was a lot choppier than usual and it just wasn't delivering as I wanted it to. So we can play this out now. 2 p.m. candle opens. There is a 15-minute gap that gets formed here. So now I was leaning in the direction of where's price going to manipulate. As we have this accumulation, I was extremely happy in taking either we manipulate higher into this gap and then a trade lower, but I would have probably preferred this as my lower draws didn't really make sense for us to go down to. And we did have quite a few targets for liquidity and for where price wanted to go. So we can continue to play this out. Clearly still accumulating. And now we see a manipulation into this 15 with a very good rejection off of it. And we did in fact have an SMT with ES as I never tapped into this gap. So this here just solidified the fact for me that, all right, I'm here, going to take a buy. Just need to look for some extra confirmation. We do have this small fair value gap here, but wasn't really what I was looking for. I did like an entry at this change in state just because that SMT was good and we had such a sharp rejection out of this 15-minute gap. So we can play this out more. And I did go and take a long here as price was delivering very well out of this 15-minute gap. Paired with that SMT, I was very confident in this setup. And I targeted all of this sell side here, and these highs being my final take profit. But we can play this trade out and see what we do. Again, another confirmation here that we want higher. However, we clearly just wanted to chop around today. And I eventually got stopped out as we reswept this gap. And ES also did tap into its gap. when we reswept. So overall, this trade, I would probably have to rate it an A, not an A plus, just because bias was so conflicted and we had been trading into this 15-minute gap. But my idea was, if you're going to knock at a door for long enough, you're going to open that door. So I thought we would break through this gap and we wouldn't be a problem. But in hindsight, I probably should have waited for at least a break of this range or even an inversion of that 15-minute gap. So yeah, we can continue to play this trade out. And as you can see, price just was not wanting to deliver. But when we did break this range after resweeping, I'm not sure if we did get SMT down here. We did not. As soon as we did break this range, we did distribute higher. So things I could have done a bit better is to wait and not be impatient. At least wait for a break of this range, just because price was so choppy and we do have a FOMC tomorrow. So yeah, definitely a learning curve this trade, but not mad at myself that I took it, because we did have quite a few confirmations, including this gap, which admittedly was after when I entered, but still a decent trade overall. Just didn't go the way I wanted it to. And maybe in the future, if I do see this choppy price action and it gets to around here, when we just continue to chop, I'll probably just call it a day and sit out. So yeah, thanks for watching.